Hello everybody, good evening. It's Kendra here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am excited to do this live tonight. We are going to be talking about 3 ways to start your vending machine business. So before I get started talking about these 3 ways, as you guys are coming into the live, welcome. Please let me know where you guys are watching from. So go ahead, if you are on the live now, let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay, then go ahead and put where you're watching from and put hashtag replay so I know who was here live and who was watching. So once again, welcome. We're going to be talking about 3 ways to get started, get your vending business started. While we're waiting for people to come in the room, I just like to see where people are from. Hey Rodney, send me where you're watching from. If you're watching live, just go ahead and put your location. And if you're watching the replay, put your location and put hashtag replay. So we have Cheryl watching from her iPhone. We have Stephanie from Virginia Beach. Hello guys. We have Corinne from Kansas City. Hey Jocelyn. Hey Ebony from Albany. Hey Ariel. We got people from Austin, Colorado. Welcome in, guys. Orlando. Watching from my laptop. Cincinnati. We got Carol. Hey, Carol from Tennessee. We have some people from Vegas. Rodney from Miami, of course. All right. Welcome, guys, from California. So if you guys are coming in, just put where you're coming from. If you are watching the replay, go ahead and put where you're watching from and hashtag replay. So we have, okay, here's some Atlanta people finally. Craig in California, Deja in Atlanta, traveling to Baltimore, but from Atlanta. All right, repping for Atlanta. Dallas, Virginia, Maryland. All right, we got a good mix. Daytona Beach, a lot of good cities that some I need to go to. Another Dallas, especially Texas. Watching from Michigan. Hey, Nikki. All right. All right, so welcome in once again. We are going to get started discussing 3 ways you can start your vending machine business. And hopefully from these 3 ways, you'll decide which way is best for you based on the budget, your time line, and the way, I guess, how easy it is for you to get started based on all those things. All right, so a little bit about me. Who am I and why am I talking about this? So my name is Kendra. I'm living in Atlanta with my husband and 2 girls. I started my vending business in 2014 with 5 vending machines while I was working a full-time job. Decided that the corporate life wasn't for me, so I decided to take a leap of faith and quit my job and go full-time with my vending business. Basically, I learned how to locate really well and was able to grow my business in just 6 months from 5 machines to 22 machines, doing 6 figures for my first year in 2017. So I basically packaged up all my strategies and I just sell them to you guys, show you guys how to be successful, and more recently have created the VendSmart Club. So if you guys are familiar or not familiar, the VendSmart Club is, the website is vendsmartclub.com, is my site where I am catering to new and potential vending machine operators, just providing resources and tips on how to get started and how to run your business. All right, so we got a few more people coming in from North Carolina, from New York. I saw Nikki from Michigan. All right, so we're going to get started in discussing the 3 ways you can start your vending business. So the first way is the most common, and that is what I call the DIY way. So it's when you just build your route from the ground up, right? So you have to find the locations, the machines, the card readers that's going to work, figure out, how to pitch, pricing, where to get your inventory, what tools you need, all this kind of stuff, right? So the DIY method is the easiest way to get started, But in my opinion, it is the most difficult way to be successful because it's so many different factors that if you're not sure like where to start, what licenses, if you need this, if you need that, whatever the case may be, sometimes people get a little overwhelmed and then they end up quitting because they can't figure out all the steps, so they get a little bit flustered. So the DIY way is how most people get started, and usually you would go on, Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, or OfferUp or something like that to find the machines. A lot of people tend to use used machines or refurbished machines when they do it this way. Nothing wrong with either option. Some people do it with new machines, but basically this way to me is the most challenging just because there's so many things to get started. So I know like Rodney started her business from scratch. Ariel started his business from scratch. There's some couple people in here, and so they can attest to how much work it is to DIY your business. Nothing wrong with that, especially if you have a small to medium budget. You can really get a lot, build a good size route. With doing the DIY, especially if you're doing used or refurbished machines. So it is it's also the most flexible because you are locating each individual machine. So you get to decide the types of locations, where exactly it is. You get to be more picky with where you're placing your equipment, how much money you're going to make, the types of locations you're going in, and all that kind of stuff. So it's very flexible in that aspect because you're building it from the ground up. And this is good for investment levels from like a few $1,000s to, I would say probably like under $5,000. If your budget to get started is about $5,000 or less, this method is the best for you because you'll be able to get machines for a little bit cheaper because they're going to be used or refurbished. Now, remember, because you're using used machines or refurbished machines, you're not going to have a warranty. You're not going to have technical support. You may not even have any training on the equipment. So you have to make your decisions wisely because, if you don't know how to use a machine, and then it's broken already, I always tell people not even to do that. But, if you have a used machine, there's going to be, you're going to have to learn how to use it. And if you need help, you just don't have it because you bought a used machine, like secondhand machine. So, it is what it is, but that's the way you can kind of get started cheaper. So the DIY method is going to be your hardest to execute just because there's more. You have to build everything from the foundation to the roof. But it's going to be your most flexible option because, like I said, you can be more picky about your locations, where they are, the types that they are, all that kind of stuff. And then, but it's the best for a budget of about $5,000 or less. And just for the record, so we have the verbiage correct. New machines are new, right? So brand new, no owner. Used machines are going to be a machine that has been used by somebody who's just selling like their machine. And then a refurbished machine is going to be from somebody is a dealer or a distributor who's constantly having machines. And those usually come with some kind of a warranty or technical support if you're getting it from a big enough distributor. So those, if you are going to do it that way, then try to find places in your area. And if not in your area, you can still, like, there are a couple warehouses here in Atlanta and they ship all over. I do have some partners in California and they ship refurbished machines all over. So, and they provide training or technical support and training, and maybe even a limited parts warranty. So there are options if you want to do it that route. All right. So the next route, the next way to start your vending business is to buy somebody else's route. So a lot of people, and I was myself included, I didn't know that you can just find somebody else's business and buy it, right? Somebody that's trying to get out of the business or somebody that just kind of just does that thing. You can, for that's how they operate their business. You could just buy an existing route. So this option is going to be like medium in ease of execution because the routes are not always available everywhere, right? So there's no standard vending route. like place. There's a few of course vending websites where they're listed and things like that, but there's not any standard like this is what comes with a route. It's based on what each individual person wants to offer you or wants to price it at for whatever they're offering. And I'll get to questions, guys, right after this second way. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm ignoring you. So I see the questions. So because there's no standard what comes with the route, how much the route should be priced, this is also what makes it a little bit more risky because it's going to be more expensive. The locations are already making money. The machines are already placed making money. So most of the times they're going to be priced based off of how much money they're making, and then in addition to whatever else they're including in the sale. So sometimes you could buy a route from somebody. So I purchased routes from people. That was one of the ways I built my business. And so the route, one time I bought it and it just came with just the machines, in the location, of course, and then whatever was in the machine. So the money included and whatever snacks were in the machine. Another time I bought, and then the lady gave me extra parts that she had. I think she might even give me some inventory and things like that. Some people include training. Some people can include vans or vehicles, like the other tools that they use, racks from their house, whatever they're using for storage. So the routes can really vary just based off of the seller. And like I said, there may not be a route available where you are today or ever, right? So it's just kind of like you have to be looking. You have to constantly be looking for the routes, in your area. And when one pops up, you have to know how to evaluate it and make sure that is a good investment for you. So you can probably, if you're going to buy a route, you're probably looking, if you're going to buy a decent route, a money-making route, you're probably going to be looking to spend tens of thousands of dollars, like at least 10, if not more, but 10 to 30,000, or it could be 100,000. Just depends on how big the route is, how many machines are included, the condition of the machines, the age, the brand, the type. It depends on so many factors. So this is going to be it's easier to do than your DIY method because you're not having to build everything up. Everything is already done, but it's more risky because of the price being higher, and you have to know what you're looking at, the questions to ask, all that stuff, how to verify the sales that the seller is telling you the route's making. You have to know all that stuff. Otherwise, you could be overspending on a route that's really not going to ever make back the investment. So it's a little bit riskier. And then, of course, this is the least flexible because the machines are already in location. So you have to, and you need, and of course you'll be looking in certain areas. It might not be in your area, maybe too far. So, sometimes when I was looking for routes, I live downtown Atlanta, and, I would find routes in Sandy Springs or Norcross, and that's like, 30 minutes away from here or more, especially with traffic. So that would be too far for me. So, like I said, if you want to do this route, you need to have a larger budget. You need to have a larger timeline to get it done. And then you just need to just be patient because there may not be anything available in your area when you're searching today or this month, but there may be something next month. All right, so I'm going to pause here before I do the third option and just go back to some of these questions. Okay, so we have one question. What is a route? Very good question. So a route, we're going to consider a route when you have, what it is a group of vending machines and locations that you service. So technically your route could be one location that has a vending machine in it. But essentially your route is a group of locations where you have your machines. So you can have a 1-stop route or you can have a 100-stop route. Just depends on how many locations you have. So that's what a route is. A location is the actual place where the machine is, and the route is all of your collective locations, even if you just have one. All right. Somebody gave me a compliment. Thank you. Gotta read and self-educate. Find mentors like this lady. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Is it better to start with new machines or used? So it's up to you. It's completely up to you, but the new machines are going to cost more than a used machine. They usually have warranty. They work. And usually you get some kind of a technical support from and or training from the manufacturer or who you purchased it from when you're buying from a new vending machine. When you're buying used, and remember, I'm considering used as buying it from a person off of Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. When you buy it used, that is just a used machine. You don't. It's like a garage sale. If you go to buy somebody's old bed set or whatever, it's just used. So it may be some flaws, defects, or whatever. It may not be working 100% correctly, but it's a used machine. So you just take that risk. But it's cheaper, and it allows you to buy more machines, right? Somebody posted in the group, and it was a perfect explanation that your machines are a direct reflection of your business. So if you have old, dirty machines, people are going to think your business is not run very well. You don't care about it because the machines look bad. So the nicer the equipment, and not saying that it has to be new to look nice, but the nicer the equipment, the newer the equipment, the better it looks for your business, for your brand. So, but it's a personal decision and really based on your budget, I guess. All right. So, next question is, I don't know if I missed anything, but should I get my LLC before anything? So, LLCs you really don't need an LLC to do any business. It's a good idea to have one, but you really just need the business license. It's a good idea to have an LLC, but technically, if you do business in the United States and you're a citizen, you can just use your social security number. The LLC is for tax and liability purposes. It has nothing to do with, excuse me, actually running your business. The physical operation of the business. All right. Is it allowed to get your own product to put in your machine? Are you allowed? Yes. So, very good question. So you can put whatever you want in the machines that you purchase and own. So a lot of times people want to get started and they're like, oh, can I get a free Coke machine? So there's a way to do that. I don't know that it's really worth it to do that, but essentially, if you do that, get Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper machines, any of those branded machines, you can only sell their product in your machines, which limits your sales because people don't just like one brand. People like different things. So, but when you're building your route, you can put whatever you want in the machines because you own them. Very good question. Next question. Okay, this thing keeps going down. What was the 6 figures you made at the peak of your business from revenue or profit? The 6 figures was in sales. That was the first time that I reached the 6 figures was 2017. And I did it in 6 months. But that was in revenue. Very good question. Does the vending machine keep track of your sales and profit? No, the vending machine does not. It does, but we use a card reader to keep track of our sales and profit. All right, so I'm going to come back to these questions. I just want to make sure we're keeping good time here. Oh, it's only been like 15 minutes. Okay, so let me go ahead and answer 1 or 2 more questions, and then we will start on the third way you can get your business started. Okay, so I'm looking to get insurance for the business. Yeah, so it's a good idea to get insurance. General liability, like business insurance, is fine. It's all you need. Most locations aren't going to ask you for that. Some will, especially some of your corporate, more bigger warehouses or office spaces. They might ask you for a COI, certificate of insurance, so that basically if something happens, like if you are an employee or contractor is doing something that causes damage to their property, then it's covered. But essentially, usually your vending machines themselves are not covered with that liability insurance, and there may be some additional coverage you can buy if you want to replace your vending machine. But I don't know what kind of insurance that is. You have to look into that. I don't have that kind. Should the machine come from a local warehouse? The machine should come from wherever you like, that is best for your budget, and that is best for the location. So if the machine has to come from Atlanta and you're in California, then that's where it has to come from. But you can find machines. You don't be afraid to ship machines, like ship the vending machines. Yeah, it's gonna cost you additional money, but like it's worth it to have a machine, to have peace of mind and know it's gonna fit in your location. Somebody asked about the tax exemption card. You can get that when you're registering your business. I don't want to go too much into details of that because it's different for everywhere. And no matter how you get started, you're gonna need certain things like that tax exemption card, the business license, the insurance, things like that. When buying routes from people, what are red flags for scammers or bad routes? Okay, very good question. So if you are buying a route from somebody, if they cannot produce records of their sales, but they're saying it's doing amazing numbers, but they don't have any records, or they don't have all the records, that's a red flag. If you have card readers, if they have card readers on the equipment, the card readers actually track the cash and the credit card sales. So that's number one. You should be buying routes that already have the card readers attached. Number one, because you know you can track the sales, and number two, because you know the machines are new enough to take the card readers. If you buy machines that are older, that don't have the card reader, you might have to upgrade the board, and that could get quite expensive. So you want to make sure that you can verify the sales. If the person is not willing to verify the sales, then walk away. If they are, that would probably be the only red flag for me. But if it's at a low enough price, it might be that they're just selling because the route doesn't do that well. And I did this because I was looking for locations. I would find route locations that I was interested in that were underpriced, and then I would go and buy it, and then have the equipment and move it somewhere else if I couldn't get the location to perform like I wanted. So yeah, but the biggest red flag is if they can't produce the sales, then you just need to keep looking. All right. And it keeps taking me back down. Okay, so what are good places to place a vending machine? We can talk about that later. If I don't get an LLC and get the business license instead, can I create a website? Yeah, the LLC has nothing to do with operating. As far as like your daily operations of your business, you can just have the business license is what you need. So if there was like a business police and you got pulled over, just for better lack of a better example, then you would need to show your business license that says you're allowed to sell things for money in this city, county, or wherever. All right. Okay, do you charge rent for the locations of your machines? So I don't charge rent, but some people do. I actually was thinking about changing on our vending website that it's not free unless, that it's not free and see. Because a lot of people, you'll be surprised when you talk to them, they actually ask you how much it costs to have the vending machine in their location. So I don't charge people because that's just not what I do, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's up to you. And just like somebody's going to say, why would somebody pay you to put the machine in there? Because they want it. So anybody will pay anything for what they want as long as it makes sense to them, right? So that means if they have a business and their employees want a vending machine and you tell them it costs $100 a month and that's within their budget, then they will pay that happily to have it for their employees. So everybody has a different business model, and you could do that. And then it would cut down on some of the locations that are like too slow or too small, because then they wouldn't want to pay. So you could try to do something like it's free for as long as you hit sales, right? And you wouldn't put that on your website. That was something you would talk about once you secure the location or you get a meeting. You can talk about that. All right, couple more questions. Yes. So we have wait a minute. Do I scout locations? Yes, I have locations. I will give you the information for the location shortly. If you have questions, you can schedule a phone call with me. You can schedule a Kickstart call with me, and I will put that link here as well. Yes, Kalia is asking, you have a website? Yes, you have a vending business, you need to have a website. If you have any business, you need to have a website. It's 10 times harder to find a location without a website. Because usually the first thing people do when you tell them you have a business is, what's the website? Personally, I don't like to do business with people that don't have websites, because I want to go and read what you offer, what your policies are, and then decide if I want to buy. If you don't have a website, then I'm already not going to buy, because I feel like your idea is not organized. So that's just me. But yes, we have a website. That's how we get 99% of our leads now is through the website. And that's another thing that I show my clients, as well as how I still find locations today. All right, so I'm going to answer some more questions, but let's finish the third option, the third way to start your business. So just a quick recap. The first one was a DIY, where you build it location by location, find the machines, do all of that by yourself from the ground up. The second option was to buy somebody else's route. So a person that's getting out of the business, just selling a few locations, but currently operating, having machines in location. That was the second way, buying a route. So the third way to buy a route, can anybody guess the third way to buy a route? If you just go ahead and type in the comment section, the third way you can start your vending business. I'll wait for a few, unless this thing is not going to cooperate. Okay, it's not cooperating because it's going all the way back to the top. So if I see it, and I know this is a delay. So the third way is, somebody put a locating company, kind of. So the third way is to buy a franchise. A franchise is essentially, so of course, like McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, those are franchises. So what's good about a franchise is that the business model is already proven to work. So all you're doing is basically buying the blueprints to somebody's vending business, somebody's business, and you're buying those blueprints and you're following it to start your own business. Now, what franchises could be, they vary how they're structured. So it could be the franchise, like it could literally be the plans, and they hand you a binder of how to do everything. That's technically a franchise. Or it could be all the way to turnkey, where you just pretty much show up and your business is already running. So it's a very good option. It is the easiest way to get started. Because like I said, as long as you pay on your end, then you know that the franchise is going to do, or the company is going to do what they need to get you a location, and whatever else is included in that service. So it's the easiest way to get started. However, it's not as expensive as buying a route. It can be, depending on what company you choose to go with. But it's not as expensive as buying a route, because the sales it's not priced based on the sales data. It's priced based on what's the structure of the franchise. So it's in between. So the DIY method is, if you have a lower budget. If you have a large budget, you can start with buying routes. With the franchise, you can start in that medium to high budget to get your business started. And it's a little less flexible, just because with your franchise, it's going to take the time it takes. Because like in most cases, it's not just gonna be solely just you, really, right? So they're going to be helping other people. So it might take a little bit longer in some cases, not all, but some cases it may take a little longer to get your location. But at the same time, if you're new and you don't know how to find a location, it could take you a year to find a location, and that company can find one a lot quicker than you. And it's I just say moderately flexible, just because the rules are different based on whichever company you choose. So like, some companies let you reject however many locations you want. Some companies don't. You get one and then and that's it. So it just depends on those options. So, or it depends on what the options are of that franchise company. So you can do, but like I said, I think it's the easiest way to get started because the business model is already proven. It's already outlined for you to follow, and as long as you're going to follow it, then you shouldn't have any problems. But you know, like I said, it can just vary by what people offer in their different packages, right? So those are the 3 ways that you guys can get started with your vending business. So a quick recap, we can start with DIY, building location by location from scratch. You can start your business with buying another operator's route. And then you can also start your business with a franchise. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the franchises. I just want to get to some of these questions. So some people did guess. Somebody said the locating company. Somebody said you bid on high traffic locations, a locator, call properties to see, or go to the property. Somebody said you can buy them from me. Exactly. An auction. Yeah, all these are very good. Ways to start. So one question is, what are some franchise company websites you recommend to purchase a franchise from? So, okay, I started with a franchise, and I would not recommend anybody start with the one that I did. Another thing about the franchises is usually what they try to do is the healthy vending, and that just is a gimmick to me. It does work, but it's very difficult. It's already enough to, have to find the locations for just traditional machines, and then you have to add an extra layer, adding that health factor onto finding your locations. And it's just the products are a little bit more expensive. They have a shorter expiration date, and people just don't recognize the healthier products, so they don't buy them as easily as they buy a Snickers or a bag of chips because they recognize it, right? So I lost my train of thought. Oh, so the healthy vending to me is more gimmicky, and that's what they're trying to do, is like make it so different. And like healthy vending, because it's, to me, if you're in how healthy, I guess, is something that's in a vending machine anyway, right? Yeah, you can have healthier options like nuts or trail mix and energy bars and stuff like that, protein bars and stuff like that. But essentially, I mean, the best healthy food you're going to get is fresh food. So anyway, most of the franchise companies offer those healthy vending machines, and they charge way too much for the machines. And in my case, they over exaggerated the sales. And so I was just talking to somebody earlier, and basically I was just saying that, I would still have done the business if they hadn't given me such inflated numbers. I just maybe wouldn't have started with as many machines as I did, because, just to make the money back, it has to make sense. But this is one of the things one of the mistakes that I made that you guys don't have to now, because I already made it. And I'm telling you guys how to avoid it and what to look for if you're gonna do a franchise route. So I'm going to go back and answer a couple more of the questions that I didn't answer earlier. And please feel free to go ahead and type in your questions, and I'll try to answer all of them. Let me get a quick time check. We're right at 7:30. So I'll answer these questions. Then I'm going to talk a little bit more about the franchises, and we'll be done. But you guys have really good questions so far. Goodness, why is it doing that? Okay, let's go back down. All right, this is where I left off. Okay, so can you use a card reader with only a business license? Do you need an LLC for card readers? No, you don't need you need a business bank account. And I'm not going to say 100% for sure it has to be a business bank account. Some places require the business bank account, the card reader. But I think if you just have a bank account, it doesn't matter what type it is, as long as it's a bank account. You don't need an LLC for a card reader. LLCs that's not for operating a business. It's for tax reasons and liability. Do we have to check constantly for your available routes? Do you send emails when you have new opportunities? So great question, Ebony. I'm actually in the process of doing that. So right now, when I get them, I try to put out something in the group or on Instagram that I have new ones and send out an email. So we're going to start doing a weekly newsletter. And then if we get locations off, offhand off the newsletter, then yes, we'll send out emails. There might be an option I can turn on the website that you can get a notification for the website or for the new listing. So I will add that if it's there. Can you name some of the most properties wanting vending machines? Oh, the places that want vending machines. Most of your vending machines are going to be in a warehouse or an office building or some kind of combo of the two. Those are just the biggest because that's where that's the type of work that people do in this country. So your locations are going to be warehouses or office buildings. Some retail locations would be like laundromats or salons, barbershops, things like that. Medical facilities, dialysis centers, hospitals, nursing homes, things like that. Some colleges and universities, some schools. High schools seem to be better than elementary schools, but schools, if they don't bid, or if they do bid and you win the bid, you can do that as well. And then your big locations like big hospitals, universities, things like that, those usually have to be bid out, and so you would have to and it just depends. There's no standard with the routes, how to find the routes. There's no standard when bids come out, so you would have to be able to get on some sort of a list to be alerted when bids come out. But the best locations are warehouses. I like warehouses, but really it's anywhere where people don't have any option and they're there for a long time because they're gonna need to eat. All right. Can I pay for a one-on-one? Yes, so you can do one-on-one. Kickstart calls if you are interested in the options that I'm about to present in just a second. It went back down to the bottom. And how do you determine how much to pay for a route? So basically, like I said, it depends on the sales. It depends on what's included in the route. So I couldn't tell you you should pay X amount of dollars for a route. It just depends on the sales. It depends on what they can prove of the sales as well. And like I said, whatever is included in the location in the route. So it could be vehicles, it could be equipment, inventory, or other tools. And the last question I'll answer is, how do you come up with the prices? Well, I'm not answering that question because it's kind of a different topic. But basically, I use a multiplier. I find the cost, and then I multiply by that cost and set my prices that way. I do have something on the blog that goes over. Oh, no. I have a YouTube video. So it's in this group as well. I have a YouTube video on the product pricing, but you could watch that one. All right. So we talked about the 3 ways to get started. And the last way we talked about was through a franchise. So my company, VendSmart Club, has created something like a franchise. It is a business package. What we offer are brand new vending machines. They have technical support. You have a card reader, a touchscreen card reader to track your inventory. And then, of course, you have a warranty with your vending machine. And it's delivered to a location that you approve before we send the location. So you get to go see your location. So we find the location for you with this business package, and we show you how to do it. So that way you don't have to hire us. You can, but you'll be able to grow your business at your own pace, however large you want it to be. So the business package that we, that we have is, I call it a franchise because you're using my model. There are no franchise fees. There are no additional royalties. once you get started, and there's a lot of upsides. So I teach you about finding your locations and running your business, but also how to maximize your profits at those locations, how to maximize your profits in your business in general, so that you're more successful with your vending business. And really, because this is about creating an asset to sell, at some point you may not want to do vending anymore. And that's okay, but you don't have to just pull your machines out of location and put them in storage and let them collect dust. Because you are starting with this business package, you have an asset. You will be able to track your prices and all that stuff from your locations. You'll have everything you need to bundle it up and sell it to somebody who might be wanting to buy a route. So I help you to create an asset for, however long you want it, and then when you don't, you can sell it. So if you are interested in this turnkey business package solution, there are a few requirements. There is an application, and basically it's like an application/interview. Because we work together closely, we want to make sure we are a good fit to work together, right? And it's a two-way interview. So I want you to work with me as much as I want you to want to work with me as much as I want to work with you. And then that is when we're going to have the most success in either of our businesses, is if we are enjoying to work together. So that's one of the requirements. That's why we do the interview application process. The other one is that you need to be able to invest at least $7,500 for the initial investment, and then you will have additional costs like your inventory costs, business license or LLC formation costs that you would also need to be able to handle after getting started. And then what was the other thing? Requirement. Oh, and then we just do our one-on-one call. So we do an evaluation for everyone. So even if you're a current operator, you can do this. You can still do this package. And if you're a new operator, obviously you can definitely do this package. And it comes with a free business evaluation. If you're new, then we just start from scratch with your business. So if you want to do that, the application fee is $97, and you just do it through the Kickstart call if that is what you if you're interested. So I will put the link in the comment section. I will also put my website. My website is VendSmartClub.com. And the listings are on VendSmartClub.com/listings. And the listings is what is available currently. I am working on getting locations all over the country. Just though, if you don't see them, we can still find them wherever you are. You just have to reach out. So if you guys are interested in this turnkey business package, I will put the link in the comment section so that you can book a call and do your interview and your application, and then we will go from there. So I really enjoyed you guys on this live tonight. You had so many great questions. Please don't hesitate to put your questions into the group here. There's a lot of experts in the group as well. There's a lot of people that just really are hard workers and really want to see other people succeed. So please put your questions in the group. Of course, on this comment thread, if you need to, I try to personally answer each question in the group if it hasn't been, especially if it hasn't been answered. But I personally try to go through and answer everyone so that everybody can have their chance to start. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching this live. Please sign up for my email list. I will put the website, VendSmartClub.com. Please sign up for the email list so you will get the alerts for the new locations and so you know what's going on. All right, until the next time, talk to you guys later. Bye.